So, Black Friday and Cyber Monday are kind of just wrapping up, and with them starts the beginning of holiday season shopping and ends the kind of craziest, biggest discount weekend of the entire year in the retail world. All kinds of companies offer discounts during Black Friday, trying to capitalize on holiday shopping sprees, and also the fact that consumers know that there's going to be discounts at this time of the year, so they're looking to spend. All sorts of companies do this: large companies, small companies, good companies, what I would kind of call bad companies, with one notable exception. If you've been paying attention to their website, or maybe you were just hoping to snag a deal, you might have noticed that Patagonia hasn't done anything for Black Friday. They haven't offered any sales, they haven't done any special promotions, most of their retailers haven't even offered sales for them. REI, I don't know how you got away with this, but I think you should stop. The reason for this goes deeper than just bad business management or Patagonia missing the boat. They don't offer Black Friday sales due to a very specific ideology that kind of goes to the core of their business, and we're going to get into what that is right now. To understand why Patagonia isn't offering these sales, you actually need to understand how the company started and what some of their core missions are. For those of you who don't know, Patagonia actually began in the late 1950s as a rock climbing equipment manufacturing company. Essentially, the company founder, Yvon Chouinard, bought a anvil and had it in the back of his car or his parents' garage, and he used it to make pitons and other rock climbing equipment that he would then sell to his friends in Yosemite Valley and other famous rock climbing areas around the States. Now, this is a super cool bit of climbing history, and he was one of the most innovative people in the space at the time. After about 10 years, Chouinard Equipment, as it was called at the time, became, I think it was the largest rock climbing equipment manufacturer in the United States. This was obviously great because it meant Yvon could actually make a living while he made this gear and climbed all the time, but he started to notice the impact that his gear was having. Namely, he saw on many of the famous cracks in Yosemite, the pitons that he was selling did damage to the rock when they were repetitively hammered into cracks at the same time. This was kind of the first step of the company recognizing the ethical goals and values that Chouinard had and changing their manufacturing process to better fit them. In the 1970s, the company stepped up their activism in probably the most Patagonia way ever when they went to a local city council meeting to protest a development that would have ruined a local surf break. This obviously wasn't a huge environmental thing, but it did help Patagonia realize the power of grassroots movements and also some of the ability they had to affect social change as a company. In the 1980s, they took this one step further with the use of recycled materials in their catalogs and eventually in their products, and it was around this time that Patagonia and Chouinard really started to coalesce on the goal of not just offering good outdoor products, but doing so in a sustainable manner to address the environmental crisis. Now, this environmental crisis has only grown since then, and it's a real issue. The stats are insane. Fast fashion and the clothing industry contribute 10% of all CO2 emissions, 20% of all wastewater produced every year, and 70 million trees cut down every year just to make space for farmland to grow cotton and other textile garments. Now, there are two ways you can approach this problem of overconsumption in the clothing industry. One of them, which Patagonia does, is to use better materials like organic cotton, environmental dyes, stuff like that in your manufacturing processes so that you don't have the same impact per garment. Now, Patagonia was really one of the first companies in the outdoor apparel industry, but also ever to start worrying about this. Organic cotton was one of the first things they moved to really reduce their impact, and you can see, especially now in the outdoor gear industry, it's everywhere. North Face does it, Arc'teryx worries about it, shoe companies do it. A lot of companies are starting to concern themselves with the environmental impact of their products, and that's great. But there's a second strategy for reducing the impact of the fashion industry. It's more important, and it's the one that's really going to lead to long-term changes, and that's reducing consumption at the start. So the way Chouinard kind of frames this in Let My People Go Surfing, which was the book he wrote about the company's philosophies, is that it's good to make a sustainably produced product and reduce the impact of that product. It's way better to never buy that product in the first place. And that's really what Patagonia is trying to do with their non-participation in Black Friday. They're trying to reduce unnecessary consumption. So what does that mean? In the 1990s, Patagonia ran this famous ad: "Don't buy this jacket." It was right in their catalog and it caused waves. And the message behind it was, you can make your product as environmental as you want, but anything you buy is going to have an impact. And so Patagonia wanted to encourage people, especially in the outdoor community, to only buy what they needed. They wanted to stop consumption for consumption's sake and make it so that people only bought gear and clothing when they actually needed a piece of gear or clothing. Other programs like their used clothing line Warmwear are also in line with this. They want to recycle and upcycle stuff so that if you have to buy something, you can buy it used. You can buy it from someone who's already worn it. You can do everything you can to reduce the amount of new garments that you buy. And this is the core reason that Patagonia doesn't participate in Black Friday. Really, if you think about it, sales are meant to get you to buy something when you wouldn't otherwise buy it. That's why companies offer something on sale. They want to encourage you to purchase a product. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing it, and Patagonia does do sales with their low inventory items, but the idea of picking one day of a year where you're going to encourage people to spend as much money as possible really encourages this idea of unnecessary consumption. This was basically the entire reason that Cyber Monday was invented. Jeff Bezos just wanted to encourage people to buy stuff they didn't really need on Amazon to drive up sales. Just about every other company has now jumped onto this trend because they see how popular it is, but Patagonia hasn't joined in because it's so at odds with the core of their company. Really, at its roots, Black Friday is a consumerist holiday that just encourages consumption so you can get gifts for your loved ones on the holidays, but also because stuff is cheaper and it's nice to buy cheap stuff. And well, that's all well and good, and I definitely bought myself a new pair of climbing shoes, so I should be careful practicing what I'm preaching. Patagonia's core message is to try to reduce overconsumption, and one of the ways that they're doing this is by not offering stuff on sale when there's no reason that you should buy it other than it's cheaper and you're in a spending mood, because that's what the corporations have told you should be on the last Friday of November every year. So at its core, Patagonia not participating in Black Friday is an environmental message and a commentary on overconsumption. I think it's something really cool of them to do. Obviously, like I said, you don't have to feel bad if you have participated in Black Friday. I participate in Black Friday. I think everyone does. But overall, I think it's a really cool message, and I just thought it would be fun to make a little bit of a video kind of explaining why, for anyone who is wondering, why what is, in my opinion, one of the best outdoor brands isn't doing any sales. That's everything for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments what you thought. I know this is a bit of a different format. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you next time.